From where did you got this?
Where? What? This is this is mine.
So you've been doing this interview with how you got into the job for a while?
Yes.
So it's not that I'm special. You just
Yeah,
doing this to
you're
many
very
people.
special. No, no, no,
I'm
no,
doing
no.
this to many people.
So here you go. Let's get it started. So my name
I
is
feel
Alex.
betrayed. I feel used.
Alexenko, and together with me, my big friend. Actually, he was my buddy during my first few weeks on board. Hector, all the way from Mexico.
Chimichanga.
Woo!
Chimichangas and guacamole to all of you.
So, what's gonna happen next? As you notice, guys, I was interviewing different, very interesting people on board, and now I have a chance to interviewing this guy. And well, let's get acquainted with him. So, Hector, how would you introduce yourself, please?
I would introduce myself as someone super. I love your super
It just
super cool lavalier. I introduce myself as someone super cool and super awesome. I don't know. I'm just open. I'm very open. I'm very simple, and I set myself simple rules. Follow the leader. No, you just have to follow your dreams. Pursue. You have to fight, and if you're not willing to sweat, you're not willing to win. You're just willing to lose.
All right.
cry.
Actually, I was waiting for something like this, like at the end of the interview, like when I'm gonna be asking you to, give some
Okay.
advice to the guys who seeking the look in the job.
Well, you have the little card. I don't have anything to reach from, so I don't know what to do.
All right, but that's my program, so I have a card. Anyway, so here you go. We kind of giving some advices and some ideas to the guests, to the guys, the boys and girls who are looking for the job on
Yeah.
board, because you are very experienced. That's why I'm
Are
gonna
you
be
calling me
interviewing.
old?
No, I'm calling this different things, guys. Experience
me
and
old.
old, it's a different things.
I have gray hair. Look, I'm old. Well, what would you like me to say before anything
So
else?
first of all, tell me please, what was the hiring process for you? Because right there's a people who like what is the first step? Because what do we exactly want to do? Like, tell me what was the hiring process for you? Where did you go? What did you do
Uh,
back in
up.
1941?
Something like that in the Titanic. Well, this person from the entertainment went to Mexico, and I had to sleep with them, and I had to. No, just kidding. No, you have to give money, and well, it all costs in life. Basically, I was working in Mexico as a dolphin trainer in Cozumel, and a lot of people, customers from the cruise ships, are the main visitors to that park. And as a dolphin trainer, well, you're living life. You're with the sea and the dolphins and sea lions and shalala and kumbaya and hakuna matata. But at the end of the day, you're not making that much of a money. And I wanted to become a biologist, so I said, okay, how do I get money? And I always realize that people in the cruise ships always have fancy watches.
Looks like I'm not the
It's
one.
touchscreen.
Yeah, looks like
And,
I have
and
to work on it.
and cell phones like the one recording this one, and fancy clothes like
Like other clothes.
your shoes. Show your shoes right now. That'd be funny. And eventually, I realized that I needed to contact these people, and I did. And a lot of them were crew members. And when I asked them, "Well, how much money do you make?" and they told me how much money, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, because you do make more than $50 a week, and that was more than amazing for me. Because as a Mexican, we were getting like $5.
Believe me, I understand. As Ukrainian, I understand it big time. I feel you.
You have vodka. They pay you with vodka. They pay us with like chimichangas. At the end of the day, they told me, yeah, go and contact people online. But online, it was really hard back in the day, about 9, 10 years ago. It was really, really hard. There was not of a big community in the internet. And so you have to do a little scavenger. Have to hunt here and call, and it's a hard work. Today, it's really easy. You just do it online. Back in the day, you actually have to go to the interview by person, and then if they like you, if they don't, some companies, they have recruiting people, and they actually do recruitment where they tell you, that's what happened to me. We do it only once a year or twice a year. And that's until it was like June, and it was like November, and I was like, I have to wait like half a year for that. Well, yeah, so you have to wait for it. So I have to wait for that. And meanwhile, I was like trying to find out what's the cruise industry, what's inside, How do you get paid? Do you eat? Do you pay? Where do you live? And it was really really shady. The information about the life on board, it's more like as a guest, as cruising, but not as a crew.
Crew
You don't
member.
get information. So and whenever you would ask the people, well, back in the day, they were a little bit arrogant, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell you, or find it yourself." And I realized that I didn't want to be like those people, right? I'm a cool guy. I want to be one of those Cinderella stories where you end up, in the big castle. So I have to wash some dishes and all that. So after those 6 months happened, and they liked my resume and all that, they hired me. But they said, you know what? We don't have that position. We have this other position. And I said, well, I just want to be, in the big castle, and I'll wash dishes or whatever. And eventually they said, well, yeah, well, that's what you're going to be doing because we don't have this for you. And the time they said, yeah, but it's going to take us another like 6 months for you to get hired. So I said, okay, well, I'll leave my papers and everything. And it took me a couple of months till one of the people in that company said, you know what? In Mexico City, because it happens that I'm Mexican, they, one of those little flags, they said in Mexico City there's another person, but you have to look for it. And they hire more often. So I have to go all the way across the country, as flight and bus and walking because I'm Mexican, and ride el burro and el donkey. Well, it was hard. It took me a couple of months until I realized that it was really easy, and the process, it was way faster. It was a hiring partner. You didn't have to pay money like in other countries or other places. You do have to pay them some money so that they can do the whole process. But this company was working directly from the company back in the day in Princess Cruises, and it was way easier. The process, it was a whole system, a whole office where it's all really well done. Then you pass through the interview, then the paperwork, then the medical, then this and that, and at the very end, you talk to the big boss, and if they like you, good. If they don't, too bad. And they liked me. And so I didn't have to go with the other one that previously, and they at the end they did contact me. And with this new company, I went to Princess and all that, and I loved it. But I've realized that was my experience. I came with a big backpack. I didn't know if I could bring suitcases. They gave me a little bed. Half of the people were Filipino, Thailand, India. I didn't even know those countries. And some few people would speak English and proper English, and it was easier for me. And I realized that in some companies there's mafias. Mafias not as in, ooh, let's do shady stuff, but like, ooh, I'm Mexican. So the group of Mexicans will pull you in, and then you'll have like little friends.
Like a ghetto.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, no, that's way more shady. And but like teams, like gangs, like that. This sounds like really bad, for all those people.
No,
And
but it's good that you're showing that, that behind the scene information. Please, share, share.
yes, you have to pay me for this at the end. This is my own mafia, and there's Ukrainian mafia back there, and like the big officers, in the big office, well, they're Italian, so they're gonna get the maitre d' Italian and the big waiter Italian and the VIP. So it goes like that, right? You move if you have good connections, and in Mexico we have a saying that's called, or that says, "El que no tranza no avanza." So it's very nice.
All right, thank you.
You're waiting for translation. You want to know, it's if you don't move like they do, you're not going to move on. And at the end, I realized that I was Mexican, there was no mafia, and that company didn't offer what I was looking for. They didn't let me be entertainment. They wanted me to stay down. So I finished my contract, which it was supposed to be 8 months. They extended me to like 10 months, and then I extended it myself one more. Did a whole year there. And it was a good experience, but I suffered a lot. There was a lot of depression, a lot of drinking, a lot of friends, a lot of... What else? Girlfriends?
Don't
No.
go to the details like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
No, no, I don't do those things. No, 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 no. I'm Mexican. Do you think we don't do those things? No. And at the end, I did find another company which was more open, and I realized there's other companies and they're totally different. They might pay better. The hours might be better. People might be better. The vessel itself, the ship, might be a cooler.
The itineraries.
Yes, everything changes now. Sometimes the company says, okay, you're hired, we're going to send you to Timbuktu. And you're like, where is that? And maybe they're going to send you to Alaska. You don't know where the ship is going to be. And even once you're in that ship, the ship moves around and you're going to end up maybe in Mexico or Europe or in Ukraine. Well, no, you don't have cruise ships in Ukraine. You do?
Well, we have a port Odessa
Really?
in Ukraine.
I
Yeah.
thought that was like in España or.
Okay, anyway, so here you go. Let's go to the next question. Thank you
Yes,
for that one.
no problem.
So one of the issues for the people who are looking for the job, it's language. So talking about this, here guys, you can see the
Don't touch me.
on the name tag of Hector. It's different flags. It means that this gentleman is able to speak all those languages.
No. That's because I was born in an airplane. I was passing through all these countries at the same time.
Yeah, so here you go. He was born in an airplane, flying at the same time under the Mexico or Italy, Portugal, then Mexico, then Spain, and okay. Anyway,
Too many.
yeah. Anyway, so my question is because for those people,
Don't say
that's the
those.
barrier.
That's really
Okay,
not
sorry.
cool.
No, I didn't want to offend anyone. Okay, but I was there.
Say it.
But I was there one day.
Yeah,
I was
I know.
looking for for any information. I couldn't find enough.
Oh, poor.
Aw.
No.
So now I'm here. That's why I decided to share something.
Good.
And thank you for helping me out with
No
this.
problem.
But let's. So my question is, tell me, how did you learn English? What helped you? What motivates you? Because once again, this is might be that first barrier for the people who are looking for the job.
First of all, you do need to speak English, proper, like at least good English, understandable, because the customers, most of them, mainly people from USA and Canada and UK and Australia. So you need English. It's the universal language. You need it. If you speak a little bit, well, good. If you speak more, well, better. But my question to you, Alex, is why are you doing this in English if people don't understand English? I mean, how else are they going to be able to understand me? No, but just kidding. But it does make sense. You will have. Yeah. Kyo kia pia kia Nokia, Samsung Nokia, kia kia pia.
Let's continue.
So you do need English. Now, if you speak another language, that's even better. Yes, thumbs up. Why? Yes. Why? Because the positions that you can get might be easier to achieve. Once you're on board, you can move inside the companies better. Maybe you're going to be sent to a country or the ship that's doing some countries, the ones that you like. Probably, I'm from Mexico. I don't want to live in the Caribbean because I've seen that much of the time. I live in Cancun.
Excuse me, you spoiled. Excuse me, Cancun, Caribbean. You spoiled, huh?
I live in Cancun, so it's all cool for me. It's just sand and beach and
Some people dreaming about it.
topless, and I always go topless. And there's drinks and piña colada. It's really boring. I mean, especially in the parties and Cancun and the nightclubs and in spring break,
very
it's really boring.
boring.
You suffer a lot. I pray at night. But I didn't want it to be living in 6 months on board in the Caribbean. Luckily for me, because of the languages, they say, oh, you speak many languages, we need you in Europe. And for the last 6 years, I've been in Europe because they need me in Europe, Baltics or Mediterranean. But some people, they speak Chinese, Mandarin, whatever. They'll send you to the ones over there where do they speak Mandarin? In Brazil or Cuba,
I think in China.
China, yeah, and China, yeah. And if you speak English from UK or Australian and you can understand them, well, they'll send you to those ships. So,
How do they speak English in UK?
well, actually, I have no idea. Right?
Right? It's very different way how you speak English in UK.
Because you drink a cup of tea and you like a chocolate and you sit it to the Queen. But it's something like that. And you know how to speak in Australia?
Right, mate?
No. Like a little kangaroo. I'm gonna break you. No, but yeah, they actually do like practice, mate, like the Crocodile Dundee. So if you want to go there, learn those movies. Crocodile Dundee, really good lesson.
Okay, once again, what was your way to
My
study?
way. English, I learned it when I was a little kid. We used to have the satellite dish. Today you have cable. Back in the day, it was something for rich people. No, it was very rare to see that. So I saw Mickey Mouse and it was all in English and no comprende, and I was like, what is he talking about? So eventually you associate words and apple and manzana. Oh, okay, that's apple.
Oh, it's so in Mexico they don't translate.
No, it was the
You
satellite
you was
dish. It was
watching
the
the
80s.
so you
Satellite
you.
dish from USA, yeah.
Oh right, okay. I
I
okay. I
mean,
thought.
if I turn the Mexican television where they pass those programs in the local TV or
So
the
do they
cable,
translate?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But back in the day, it was satellite dish. It was straight from USA, and or from Ukraine or China, whatever. We would point the satellite dish to the satellite, and that's how I learned in the movies. And I realized that my mother, well, she speaks three languages. My dad speaks three languages, and that I wanted to speak languages. And well, looking at the television and trying to learn with the music, with the TV. And today you have amazing tools like DVDs. You buy a DVD original, no bootlegs. And if you go the DVD will always come in different languages, and also will be the subtitles. You can learn English so easily these days. And if you think your English is not that good, internet. You can do applications in your phone like Duolingo and Rosetta Stone. Anyway, I used to go to the chats back in the day when the chats, remember? I feel old. When Yahoo came out and American Online, and I used to chat with people and I used to make a lot of mistakes, but that's how you learn. If you don't make mistakes in life, you don't grow up. You just grow flat, and that's not good. Yeah. I don't want to be flat. So I learned English that way. Eventually, I listened to music and talking to people, and then I started working with tourism when I was about probably my 21, 23-year old. And that's when I started using it, but my English was already good since I was a kid. Now, the Portuguese, I learned it because I'm a capoeira instructor back in Mexico. And I used to live with the teacher and the wife and his wife and work in a restaurant, Brazilian restaurant. And when the capoeira, for a Brazilian martial art, one day I'll teach
Oh
you.
yeah yeah yeah. Oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah Paranaway.
That sounded more like the
Paranaway.
yeah,
Paranaway.
something like that, yeah. And you learn because you have to sing a lot. It's a martial art where you sing, and I used to make music and all that, and listening as well. And then the French, when I was a kid, my mother used to have one of those big, those big, not a CD, but one of those big discs, LPs. And she was a kid when she bought it. I think it was from year 55, 56, 1956. And a little book, those nice books today was all yellow and ugly and pieces apart. But I read that thing and I made photocopies and I passed that disc into the cassette. You remember the cassettes in the 80s, man? That's like vintage stuff for you kids. And I passed it, and I remember that the Pope, Jean Paul, time in an interview, he said that he spoke more than 27 languages, something like that. And people ask him, how do you learn so many languages? He said, people don't know that when you sleep, your subconscious, is still awake. So I put music in that language or people talking on it while I sleep. And I put the book of that language under my pillow because that way my brain feeds from it when I'm asleep. And I was like, is he joking or he's being religious? And I started doing that with that disc and, well, that cassette. And eventually I would start dreaming in French. And that was like the weirdest thing ever because you're like, whatever, and you're like, parlez-vous français? Like, what the heck was that? And I started learning through that. I went to school. The teacher became my girlfriend. Very good. And I always got 10s and A's. And then the Italian, once I was in the cruise ships right over here in Italy, every time I would go out and wanted to ask for coffee, and I was like, one coffee and un café, okay, un café. And you learn eventually in the streets until the fact that after many years, I mean, I speak, well, fluent. It just comes out naturally. And the Ukrainian, I speak it because I don't speak Ukrainian.
But there is a way. There is a way. I think on board you have to find a partner. Well, a girlfriend for in our case, or a partner in any other case. So yeah, that's the way to improve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The night diary.
They always say that the better the best way of learning languages is mouth to mouth. It works.
Uh, can we show?
No, you get a girl and she'll show you. You'll teach her. Yeah, no, sorry, But you do have to have English basics so that you can work on board. Because once you come on board, it's not the normal English that you hear whenever you go to the school and I want an apple. It's more like real life. And there's going to be new terms, new words, new phrases, new things that you don't know. But once you're on board, in your first month, I don't know if your case, but in the first month, you get used to it. You'll learn a lot. You're more fluent. And don't be scared of like, ooh, I'm gonna live in another language. Well, you do it. And once you're 1 month on board or less than that, you're totally cool. You're like a local. And you don't need to be scared of like, ooh, English, other languages. Don't worry about that. It all comes naturally.
Thank you very much.
Question number 3, please.
So the next question is about the expectation. Did they came true? I mean, for example, maybe you came with the idea just to travel, and then you decide, wow, I can also, travel the world and I can earn some money and see the people. So, or you still looking forward to something? Or everything is. Tell me something about this.
On your fancy microphone. Well, originally on the cruise ships, they used to come to Cozumel, and I didn't know that there was cruise ships all over the world. I just saw big boats coming in, coming out, a lot of people with money and fancy watches. It's a smart watch. And eventually you see the ships and you're like, they sail from Miami, they tell you, and you think they're in the Caribbean. But I didn't think that there was gonna be ships all over the world, and I thought I was gonna work in the Caribbean. But when eventually I came to Europe, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm telling all my friends I'm going to Europe. Wow, I'm like, it's my fantasy, it's my dream. But then there's more than Europe, and there's Africa and Asia and South America and Alaska and fjords and whatever. There's a whole world out there, literally, a whole world. Be going there, discover it. Maybe you're from Europe and you're like, ooh, I get Europe all the time. Well, what about South America? Go there. You don't get to choose them. They tell you where to go. And that was the thing that I didn't expect that. They told me, okay, now the ship is going to go to Europe on the Baltics and then South America. And I was like, whoa, my dream. It's like I'm traveling the world. I thought I was going to travel the Caribbean and that was it. But about the expectations, I did have high expectations all my life. I wanted to, when I was a kid, I wanted to work in Cancun like my brothers or people that I know, and I used to go there all the time. It was like, ooh, paradise. But you need to learn English to work there. Eventually, I set myself for a really high standard and a high goal of learning really, really good English. Because once I'm there, well, I'm going to need it. And eventually people would say, yeah, but if you're going to live in the Mayan Riviera, then you might need languages. So I was scared of going there. And I wanted to learn so many languages and be perfect. And wow, when I joined the ships, and I was like, I prepared myself not to Cancun, but once I'm in Cancun and the ships and all that, I want the best next thing. What's the best next thing? Well, cruise ships, because it's the top of the industry of the traveling and resorts, and it's the top. When I came to the ships, I was really disappointed. Really. Because I thought my expectations were like, wow, it was the top of the wow palace with chandeliers and people dressed up in butlers with white gloves and silver, like you used to see in the television in the 80s with the Love Boat, and da, 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 the Love Boat. And I thought it was going to be like that and everybody would speak English. And I go to a ship in my first contract in Star Princess, man, back in the day. And good ship though. And I realized that half of the people don't speak really good English and you can barely understand them. And a lot of people from Asia, their English was really...
So did you pick up some Tagalog?
Potangina man, potangina, salsalero, salamat. Just 3 words. But then you realize that Thailanders and people from Vietnam and China, and their English is not that good. And they're working back of the house and they're working behind doors. But once you're in front of the doors, you do need English. And a lot of people were not that good at it. So I got disappointed to the fact that I wasted 10 years of my life learning languages and being the top in the industry so that I can come to the cruise ships. And it was like, I could have learned, I could have just come to the cruise ship just by knowing a little English. Well, not that little though. For this entertainment, you do need a lot. But it depends on your position. If you're in the restaurant department, just have experience in the restaurants or the bars and speak 50% of English. And you're good. You don't have to waste so much time and have expectations of like, wow, don't waste time like I did. I have gray hair now just because of those 10 years of wasting my time for, well, I could have came here like early and I'd be a millionaire now. I have my own cruise ship by now.
Yeah, besides we launching our company actually
Yeah, yeah.
the next year, Hector and Alex or Alector.
Hakuna Matata Cruises.
Hakuna Matata Cruises. You can apply just right here. I'm more than sure it's going to be the link will be right here. You can call this number as well. We're looking for the young girls. Well, 21.
Call now.
21 more. Call now.
Long wait
All right.
fees might apply.
Yeah. So about the job, about your job. Tell me, please, what is the most important in your job, and if it's possible, few highlights. First of all, what are you doing? I mean, I know that you're a cruise staff.
I'm a
and
stripper.
Well, baby, I put it. So I
Call to this number for private dances.
So once again, I'm doing the same job, so I'm kind of familiar. But for the people who, once again, looking for the job, what is this job, and what is the main? How do you think?
I would say if you're an entertainer, you're born an entertainer. You don't become what you're an entertainer. You were born one.
So
What are you waiting for?
So you don't think you can gain those skills? No, you can.
You can gain skills, but you're not gonna be born an entertainer. You can entertain people, but to be born an entertainer, that means you're gonna do this for life. How many people you know that they're entertainers and they do it for life? After a while of doing their job or at home or whatever, they might settle down and change to another thing or say this is not for me or they feel tired. For me, an entertainer is born an entertainer. You can gain the skills and do your job good and entertain people. Yes, you can.
You just cut. You. Thank you. Now I just realized something in my life. I shouldn't be here.
So welcome to Hector's show. No, come back here. Come back here. Yes, you can. Gain a lot of skills. I can tell you, as a crew staff, which is animation or entertainment staff on board, you have to be fun. You have to be willing to dance, a lot of line dances and choreographies, and you have to dress up and for the
Sometimes
theme
five
nights.
times per day. Sometimes.
And that is not a lie. And then you have 10 minutes to get a shower or eat, you decide, or get there and it's sometimes it's very hectic, which means it's very hard. You have to be bam bam from one side to each other. And you are popular among the people because they see you all the time here and there and you're very friendly. But that's up to you. Some people are not friendly and they're not popular.
But you have to be a people person definitely for this
Definitely.
job, guys. If you're not, well, there's so many different
Friendly.
there's so many other opportunities on board. Like
You can be like captain and people will respect you, but
but yeah,
you don't have many friends. I mean, you're just in the bridge. But literally, what you want to do is be friendly, be active, be fun. But you need to know how to dance or have some moves because it's not like, oh, I know the disco and that's it. No, you're gonna do a lot of stuff.
Microphone.
Yes, microphone skills. That's something that a lot of people don't know these days. The microphone is to be respected. For me, as an entertainer, old school, microphone it's a tool. It can be a weapon, but it's a tool. If you don't know how to use a tool and you have a workshop full of tools, well, you're not a carpenter. A carpenter is the one that knows how to use them properly, not the one that cuts the wood. Same thing with a microphone. It's a tool. There's the guys that go there and just hold it and talk. There's the ones that know how to use it. What is it going to be used for? And if it looks good, or you're using it properly, or if it just looks bad or doesn't look presentable, or you just shouldn't have a microphone with you because what you say, you don't know how to talk in the microphone. You need to be a little bit not shy for this job because sometimes you have to take your clothes off and run or jump and do this and do that. And Shy people in the entertainment business, they're not really good entertainers. Although you can be, yes, you can be, but it's better if you're not. Be out there. Sometimes a lot of people, like myself, I used to be very shy. And once I set myself on a stage, I was like, bam. Once I get off the stage, I'm like again shy. And some people said like, you do know that it should be the opposite. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm Mexican. I'm weird. What can I do? My mama dropped me when I was a kid, so you know. But as an entertainer, as a crew staff, you're gonna be doing karaoke. You're gonna be doing trivias. You're gonna be doing bingo. You're gonna be doing game shows. You're gonna be doing bingo. You're gonna have at night the theme parties. You're gonna have
bingo.
bingo. You're gonna do. You're gonna be I don't know in the gangways, which means the entrance of the ship and the exit. So that's when you welcome people and you say welcome, welcome. And whenever they're coming back later on at when the ship needs to leave, you have to welcome back and welcome back on board. We also have to do bingo. We have to do dance
What
classes.
about the bingo?
Yes, bingo's good. Sports activities, and you have to do in the shows sometimes. You have to do announcements. So you have to be literally a social butterfly. You have to be everywhere, all over the place. Because we're in the security sometimes. They're welcoming people, helping with their cards, which is their little ID so they can come in and out. So we're like security. And then we're in the restaurant sometimes helping the people to welcome and walking around. And sometimes we are like public relations, and sometimes we are everything. I believe that the crew staff position, it's the most complete position you can have on board because you're gonna be everywhere. You sell on the microphone. You are on the microphone. You're a dancer. You're a performer. You're gonna be sometimes
Problem solver.
oh, big time, big time. Believe me. Guest services should know that already. Don't call us every time. Where is the reception? Well, you're the reception. Yeah, sometimes they call us for that. So you need to be everywhere. Be knowledgeable. And if you're not on board, you will learn that. But whenever you're doing the trivia, say if somebody challenges you back and like, oh no, but it's not true, you cannot just Google answers. You have to know stuff, and sometimes you have to be humble and say I didn't know that. But you'll learn things every day. And as a crew staff, you're like a psychologist. You have to know how to work with people, and everything. It's a really complete job, and I love it. It's I was born for it. I've done it all my life, and I'm in love with it.
Besides, can I ask you?
Wait, I'm gonna cry. Tell me.
How many contracts have you done already? Are you?
Too many. I've done 9. I think 9 years or 10 years of cruise ships. So I've done 3 different companies.
We're stuck with the ships actually.
Yeah, something like that. No, I was working for Princess for 1 year. Well, one contract, 11 months. Too much. Normally it's 6 months. Some positions 9 months. If you're an officer, 4 months. But 11, that was too much. But it's okay. I traveled the world and I was happy.
You know, I think right now because of some regulation, like maritime regulation, you cannot work on board more than 9 months. I think there is like something like that.
You can bend the rules because if you get extended or something like that, maybe 9.5, 10. But once again, each company follows. It should be a maritime law, but some companies bend those laws every now and then. Our company, Norwegian Cruise Line, they're really cool. And for me, after looking among the other companies where I worked and friends where
This is not advertisement though.
No, NCL. I found it to be the friendliest, and they don't treat you like a number. They're not racist. They don't. You don't become a slave. When I was in my previous companies, Princess and Royal Caribbean, the ships were amazing in Royal Caribbean, but sometimes it was a little bit too
Let's
much
say
of a
pressure. We don't,
Yeah.
let's
Well, keep
let's
it.
live that.
You can
one.
discover that yourself.
Right.
But with the NCL, I totally can tell you without being advertising. They're really cool people, and it's a company that their motto, their logo was freestyle cruising. It was. It's still. I don't know what it's. Feel free.
Feel free
It's something
to
like
do
that.
what you want and have a good time.
Yeah, Pitbull's. That's a Pitbull song, but I do believe that with our company, NCL, there's not like a freestyle only for the guests, but also for us. It's a lot of
More
freedom.
chilled,
Yeah,
more.
way chilled down. There's no dictators. There's really cool people, and they treat you like a family. It's a good family. We might not have those floor riders and rock walls and things. Some of them they do, but our people, they're way more relaxed. I remember when I was in Royal, there was a little bit of a pressure and a status, and when I changed, I thought it was gonna be the same, but it was way more relaxed. And I have a lot of friends still working in other companies that they love them. Some others, they don't want to change because they've been with that company for a long time and they've gained a status or money, and they don't want to change because they're afraid. Whatever the reason is, there's many companies around the world, and wherever you work, there will be a way around to climb, to go the stairs, to become in a better position, go in a higher position, or travel the world, or change to another company, or even change departments. This company, what I like, that since the beginning they told me, when you are working for us, you can change positions, and we have cases where there's people that they're changing positions to other positions that had nothing to do, from the restaurants to the office, or to the, I don't know, the carpenter to become a steward. It depends. And in other companies it's not that easy. Now it's not that
It's
I
good
say
that you
that. Yeah,
brought
yeah,
it up.
because a lot of people, for example, when I just joined the first cruise ship, I was assistant manager in nightclubs, and I used to have a lot of money and dress up nice, and yeah, yeah. But eventually, when I came to the cruise ships, they said, "Well, we have nothing right now by the moment. We can offer you a dishwasher or washing the
Car wash.
yeah, literally." But it
Talking.
was like in the bars and cleaning the bars. I was like, I'm not a bar cleaner. I don't want to do the floor and wash the glasses. And they said, "Well, that's what we have."
Well, all those. I mean, let's be respectful. Although someone have to do this, and we meet a lot of people who are, they're passionate about it. But it's all about like, what
What
is
you
your
like,
passion?
yeah.
What do you like? Or at the end of the day.
I was humble and I said, you know what? I used to make a lot of money and I was the boss. So 2,000 people in my nightclub. Start from scratch. Start from zero. Be humble. I'll wash some floors and clean some bars, and I did it. And I did it, and it took me once again almost a year, 11 months, and I hated that thing, but I loved it because I knew the world. I had friends. I was making not good money, but I was having fun, and it was a fun time of my life, and I appreciate because I met so many people, places. I learned Italian in 2 3 weeks. I went to Venice, and
Two, three
and
weeks for the Italian.
uh,
You can start the
2 or 3.
classes, to share how to learn Italian in 2 weeks.
Parlebu italiano, mamma
Uh,
mia,
yeah, yeah,
spaghetti,
yeah.
yeah, da. But eventually, I wanted to move on, and they said, sorry, this company doesn't let.
And then at this very moment, battery died. But anyway, it is what it is. There is just a couple of minutes missing. Thank you for watching.